What's going on, everyone? Ollelito back here with a brand new video on the channel. Today, guys, I will be showing you the 4-2-2 pro custom tactics that I've been experimenting with a bit in EFC 24. I'm doing really well with these tactics. Obviously, you know, you've been seeing 4-3-2-1 tactics, 4-4-1-1 tactics, but now I wanted to let you guys know about the 4-2-2 tactics on EFC 24. So let's just roll the video and copy these tactics and let me know if they work for you. So, as we always do with tutorials, we are first off starting off with the team, how the team is looking. This upcoming Weekend League, I will play with this team. Obviously, I didn't really finish Weekend League last weekend because I didn't really have time. But now, we're Petr, Frimpong, Kalulu Footies, Bastoni, team of the season, Di Marco, Footies Modric, Bellingham, and Pirlo. And then for the front three, we have Kai Havertz, Fernando Torres, and Nico Williams. So these are the players. Let's see how we pair them up in a 4-2-2 formation. So starting off with the tactics, first of all, we play balanced, 42 width, of course 100 depth, as we've been talking about. I think width, in terms of this formation, you can get it a bit lower to 35. I would advise you guys to be from like 30 to 35 in this tactic, because I think the defensive width should be pretty low, as we want the team to be compact. And just a build-up play and chance creation, we do balanced and of course direct passing. And I mean, the majority of tactics in this year's game are with direct passing. Width, you can also get it a bit lower to 40 maybe 50, but I still think width is really important in a 4-2-2, especially trying to use the wings as much as you can. So I would advise you guys to go with around 40 to 50, experiment a bit with it. 50 worked well for me. Placing box, we do 6 corners and free kicks. I have corners on 3 and free kicks on 2. And then jumping into the most important thing then, instructions. As in the 4-3-2-1, we still want to have one fullback that's, you know, pushing up a bit more, and in this case it will be none other than Frimpong. So Frimpong is on balanced attack and overlap, as we want him to be the offensive fullback and try to use his side a bit more in build-up. In terms of the center backs, we don't really have anything special. Stay back while attacking for both of them, and then for the left back, we have stay back while attacking and also overlap, because when we actually trigger that fullback, we want him to overlap. We don't want him to be inverted, because then he will, you know, move into the midfield, and we don't really want that. So overlap is for sure the best kind of run type, as it says at the top right there. For the check, we just have balance. You can, I mean, as I always say, you can do cons for crosses, cautious with crosses, sweeper keeper. But if you're doing something with this, I would do sweeper keeper and cons for crosses. Cautious with crosses I wouldn't do, because you want your keeper to come out of the net and actually trying to stop some crosses. For the CDMs, is going to be pretty basic actually. It's going to be balanced attack, or attacking support will not be balanced attack. It will be stay back while attacking, as we want both CDMs to just stay in that midfield, make the defense compact, and just try to push up as much as we can with that 100 depth. With the defensive behavior, you have a few different ones. You have tight mark, which means mark up tight and stick with your opponent, or you do cut passing lane. In the past FIFAs, I've always done cut passing lanes, basically because it says there at the left, split the opposition and cut out passing lanes. And you know, as we talked about with the defensive tutorial in the 4-3-2-1, it's kind of the same way you defend in this formation. You defend by actually closing down the middle of the pitch, just try to work it with your CDMs and not basically have open spaces to your opponent's strikers, because that's what the opponent is looking for ever. So I would say cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and of course defensive position should always be cover center for both of them. So balanced attack is not going to be, it's going to be stay back while attacking, cut passing lanes, and cover center for the 2 CDMs. So moving on from the CDMs then, we have the 2 camps, and here I haven't really experimented a bit. I usually, you know, go off by my old tactics that I did in FIFA 22 and FIFA 21. I didn't really use this formation in FIFA 23 because I didn't really think it was a good formation. Same with FIFA 22, I experimented with it a bit, but in FIFA 21 it was a fantastic formation. So I actually tried to copy the tactics that I was using, you know, back in the days in the old games, and it's been working wonders. As I said, for Nico Williams, I have comeback on defense. I mean, I want it to be compact, so I want both him and Bellingham to be able to come back. And I think Bellingham is also a really good cam in this formation, because he can go forward, but he can also defend. So he's kind of that extra midfielder, as you can say, that can still defend. I mean, Nico Williams, of course, is going to be the more, you know, offensive alternative. You know, when we want a counter attack, we try to use his side a bit more. But comeback on defense for Bellingham and for Nico Williams. You can also actually have, if you want to, get into box for cross, because then the box is going to be a bit more crowded with Bellingham and Nico Williams. And I mean, both of these players are really good in terms of finishing, so they will score a lot of chances if you put that. But I still think balanced crossing runs is still definitely okay. So jumping into the last kind of sequence of the squad is going to be one of the most fun players I've used this year, Kai Havertz 97 card. Playing him as a striker with Fernando Torres, of course. 2 great strikers in this year's game. I like them both a lot. For Kai Havertz, we're actually going to have getting behind and also drift wide, basically because we want Kai Havertz on this side to be able to drift wide and actually leave room for Nico Williams to get into Havertz spots. So we want Nico Williams and Havertz to switch up a bit of positions here. So sometimes Havertz is a bit more on the wing, then Nico Williams move move into his spot. Sometimes Kai Havertz just stays in the middle, and then Nico Williams just stay at his wing. So I'm using drift wide and getting behind for Kai Havertz, and then for Fernando Torres, I'm going to use getting behind as well for him. I think that's really, really good. But also, I could use stay central because we want one striker to stay central. But I think I'm going to stay with him as actually balanced width, because we don't really, you know, we don't really want him on the wing. We don't really just want him in the middle. I mean, we want him to experiment a bit as well. But balanced width, I would say, but getting behind is the key here. And also, last tactic, because this is a bit more of a defensive formation. I don't really use this a lot when, you know, I'm starting the game. But when I'm leading, this is a really good formation to actually defend the lead, but also to be able to score. The 4-4-1-1, for example, is a very defensive formation in general, and you can play a game out with that. I would say you can with this formation as well, but it's a really, really good formation to score as well. So the defensive support should be comeback on decent defense for both strikers, and it's going to be super, super compact, adding in the 100 depth, 35 width, and yeah, it's just a machine in defense, but also a very, very good formation in terms of counter-attacking options in this year's game. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment something nice down below. If you like these tactics, copy them please and try them out for you in this weekend league. If you like them, let me know. I've been doing really, really well with them in terms of closing games down. As I said, it's a pretty defensive formation, but it's working really, really well for me. So as I said, thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, stay safe, stay humble, and I'll see you in the next one. And scores against Mark once again, and this is why the step overs are so goddamn good. As I said, once again, I showed you them in the last video. If you haven't checked that out, please do so. Scores to make it 2-1, and a very, very good finish from Timo Deer, Erling Haaland. So Mark, first of all here, as I said, very, very good in attacking especially. Tried to use that Sörloth to his advantage. Unfortunately, didn't score there because the red time is finished. But I want to play this whole attack. And we're going to pause it a bit to try to go a bit back and forth and explain what I'm doing. So the thing is, I'm sending Bellingham here on a run. And here I don't really have a lot of options, and I see that he's second man pressing with Havertz. So I'm just going to give this to Mbappe, and once again, when I see that Havertz is in space, I just give it to him. And here again, I could have passed R9, but I also see that Van Dijk is basically trying to cover the extra pass to R9 there. So that's why I'm just going by my own. So this is once again what we said. Okay, when you're here, you want to call your right forward short here to create the 2v1 situation. And the thing is, I didn't really do that in this situation. So the thing I need to do, I either need to go to the back to the center back and then try to switch the wing again. To always try to find your full back in attack is the most easy way to try to use that with it, with that player. So as you see here, I see that he's second man pressing with Havertz, and I recognize that. So I'm going to turn upside once again and to create space for myself. So Mark is pressing really, really well here, but as I said, I realized that he's doing second man press with Havertz. Now I turn away from him in perfect timing. I also sent Kai Havertz here at the same time. As you see, he's having his hand above his head, which means that he is making a run in behind, which means that we basically have a good opportunity, because Vitinha's AI here, the number 6 with a green shirt, won't follow Havertz here, as you see. He lost him. So the thing once again, I see, okay, he's switching to Havertz. I could have done a ball roll into R1 pass here, but I also see that if I do a triangle pass going into the